Hey guys, it's TF Note. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This is going to be of the Star Wars The Black Series, Star Wars Return of the Jedi version of Boba Fett. This is the new Deluxe Black Series version here. And we have a lot more accessories and we have a new body to top it all off here. A completely new sculpt from my understanding. I believe the same thing with the helmet. I thought was reused. But we'll talk about that once we get into the actual review here. Pretty excited to have it in my collection. Is it going to be worth 30 bucks though? And the original was 20. We're going to find out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging in the front here. In the top half, just Star Wars The Black Series. You get the figure in the box there with the contents in the box as well. And then towards the bottom half here, it does say Star Wars Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. You have that nice little green there for Return of the Jedi. It does say warning, ages 4 and up, and the Hasbro logo. On this side, there's not much going on here except it just says Star Wars The Black Series and a little bit more of a green slash right there. On this side, though, it is this bent, slanted look at Boba Fett with some nice green going on into the gray there. Pretty cool looking. The top here has just this window box. As you can see here, not much going on. On the back here, we do have that image that was on the side, again, of Boba Fett. We do have a multilingual read-up if you want to pause and read that. It does say Star Wars Black Series. Down here, it's a multilingual warnings to this. I figure number 6 out of the deluxe, $30 stuff here. And it does say Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And then on the bottom here, here's the barcode in case you need it. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. So here's the figure out of the packaging. Overall, it is pretty solid. I do have a couple issues with it, though. One big issue I think a lot of people are going to be sharing with it, though, which we'll talk about when we get to the detail portion. But overall, it's pretty solid. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that this figure comes with, and we'll take a closer look at the figure. So this figure comes with a pretty good amount of stuff here. Pretty much everything you need for this version of Boba Fett. First of all, we do have the jetpack here, which it is I have no idea actually if it's reused from the previous sculpt. If it is, they definitely improved on the paint. I think it is different because we don't have the removable rocket from the 2013 one that you just saw with this one here. And as you can see, removable rocket, little port right there. We don't have an effects piece of the rocket being shot, which is one thing I wish that was included. I don't remember, it would be cool just to have it even if it wasn't in the movie. I don't remember it exactly right now, but here we have a little bit of paint variation with some metallic silver, a little bit of black going on in there, looking really nice. We do have some very nice silver throughout this whole piece here. You can see just the silver on the sides here, some silver on the blue as well as the red. Overall, it is very nice, as well as the yellow that's on there. It's painted very well. So the paint and the sculpt is very solid. We do have these thruster ports here, as you can see. These are nice and hollow. We have 2 of these, and I can't find the second one right now, but they're the exact same sculpt. We have translucent red and orange plastic here, and you just insert it in there, push it in there. It should peg in there just fine. And yeah, we do have a thruster there. You'll get to see this a little bit better when I do the photos towards the end of the review. And I tried to use this here for the Mandalorian backpack, jetpack, just in case you guys want to see it. They're not entirely compatible. You can fake it, definitely. Different perspectives will work, but you can see that gap right there where it's not really going in all the way. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you want to use that for the Mandalorian there. We do have this effects piece. That's the flamethrower for the wrist. And it's a similar approach. Different sculpt, of course. Red here, orange, all translucent plastic with some pretty nice fire sculpted in there as well. When you get your Boba Fett here, this is at an angle. This is also at an angle. So you just line up the angles like so, which my fingers get in the way of the light, sorry. And it should fit in there rather nicely. You'll get to see a better look of this towards the end of the review, of course. Last but not least, actually we do have one accessory before we get to the final stuff, which we do have is this little hook there. This is on a string. It's got silver right there for the hook. Nice silver paint. And in the packaging, this was wrapped around the wrist like this. Let's see. Because overall, it's cool that they included it like this. But it's very loose. You could definitely, it won't really fit on there super well. You have to push it up a little bit, and it'll pull off really easily. But the idea is that part of me really wishes this was a bendy wire. There's no way they would do it. That would be too expensive. It just extends outward, So actually, let me zoom out a little bit. You can get a nice idea of the full extent of the zoom out. Some of it's a little off screen, but you can see that line is. I do like the soft line. At least it's not plastic. You know, I would have hated if it was just a stiff plastic. We have two versions of the EE3, which is the last thing I wanted to talk about before I forgot about the grapple hook there. This piece here, it is a different sculpt for the previous one. It's smaller. In fact, I have it right here. It's definitely smaller than the previous one. And, yeah, of course, you can see with the handle right there. And it has differences in paint, of course. It's all just one unified color with the brown on there. Kind of gets tarnished. And I believe it's molded in black. But they really piled on the tarnished brown on here. And it looks really good. Great sculpting in the handle. The scope as well as in the barrel. Overall, very nice looking. And then you get a sliced up version, which is a similar sculpt, but you can see that green right there. Because when Luke Skywalker sliced it up, and it does go together, which I don't think they needed to do, but I'm glad that they did. And then it's sliced apart like that. So overall, pretty good amount of accessories. So one thing a lot of you may be noticing, if you're getting this figure, and if not, I'll tell it to you if you can't notice it. This head is warped. It is a softer plastic, and it is a bit pinched in because of how it was packaged. They're doing the thing with the head underneath. I am not the biggest fan. Me personally, I think if the head is going to be under there with an actual sculpt, it should be painted as well, and the head sculpt should be, the helmet really should be removable. I've seen images of it. It's really weird. It's the actual head sculpt with some kind of weird pad of plastic on top, so I don't really know what was going on here. Me personally, I think they did it right the first time with the previous one. Eventually I like to do a separate video talking more in depth about the differences between these two, but the helmet here I think is just really well done. This is not a bad sculpt. I just don't really like that it's a softer plastic the way they did it, of course, and that it's pinched in. I'm gonna have to figure out a way on my own without removing this off the helmet, because it's probably going to damage, or trying to remove this is going to be damaging to the actual helmet, because it is glued. It is molded and or glued onto the head sculpt underneath. The paint itself, though, is really good. Me, done ranting and rambling, of course. Nice dent right there with some nice silver. I do really like the rest of the silver going on around the visor. We do have this piece right here, the viewfinder, it actually goes down now, so that's cool. It is a little warped. It's a bit of a soft plastic, but it gets the job done. It looks really cool. So overall, I can't complain about the paint. They nailed it with the silver paint, as well as these lines going on right here. That's being covered by silver paint, which is accurate, of course. The rest of the silver paint on here is actually really good with a lot of nice divots in the sculpt. Really, the plain sculpt is going to be on the under part here, with this tan beige part. I don't know exactly what it was, how they made these pants, for the movie. I don't know what the technical term is in the Star Wars universe of what's going on underneath, but it's just under layering, of course, and there's not much paint going on there. Getting most of the paint, of course, on stuff like the gauntlets there, which not only have this maroon paint, but have silver dry brushing, as well as not really dry brushing, some silver splotching, and they have a little bit of a gold metallic piece there with some silver for the rocket. I did not show off what this looks like on the back. It fits on there really nice. Of course, it's very similar to the previous one. There's these divots on the, it's pretty much the same. Okay, there's not much else that could be said, and it goes on there, stays on there very nicely. What's different from the previous, this one from the previous one is this is a soft plastic. I wish they did soft goods. I don't know why Hasbro is reluctant on doing softer goods, and seems like they're finding new ways to charge us more money for figures that should have soft goods. But the soft goods here, even though they weren't the cleanest when it comes to the trimming and hemming and whatnot, were still pretty nice. This doesn't look bad. Just again, me personally, I wish it was soft goods. It doesn't really get in the way too much, though, so I'm not going to complain too much. We do have some holes in here as if it's, torn and whatnot, and not much else to go over with that. Nice. I'm not going to lie, I forgot what some of these are. Of course, that is the, that's a Mandalorian sigil. And I forget exactly what that's supposed to be, though. right there. But it's all printed on there nicely. Everyone's going to flame me in the comments for not knowing 150% everything on Star Wars. I apologize. But one thing bothers me, which it's accurate, so I'm not going to complain about it really, but it was a problem with the previous one, are these right here. When you're going to bend these, they'll, it's a softer plastic, but they're not a complete soft plastic like, like as if it was a, I somehow part of me wishes this was fabric. I don't think there would be any breaking possibilities here. I've had this for years, and the thing has finally broke on there. That happened a couple of years ago, sadly. The way to prevent that, though, is that I want to say this can be removed. It looks like it's about to come off right here on the sculpt, but I haven't been able to do it yet. But you do have this nice swivel right here at the arm, so you can turn a little bit before it potentially breaks. So that's not too bad. The belt, as well as this part right here, the braids, they're really nice. The belt is just a very basic brown, but the sculpting on the pouches on the front is pretty nice. Same thing here, not much going on with paint. Not really much variation with these pouches, but they're sculpted nicely with some nice wrinkles. The rest of the wrinkles on the under part is also pretty good. There's a little bit of the sculpting right there for the latches. We get down to the pants, more wrinkles, and that's about it. There's not much paint going on right here, but we do get to the knee pads, which do look pretty nice with some nice silver going on there. And we get down to the lower parts. There's even more silver on the front, so that's good that they actually painted that. Then we get down to the shoes. The shoes always look pretty cool on Boba Fett, and they did a pretty good job sculpting them here. I don't believe these are reused. I could be wrong, though. I think the previous ones were pretty big. It's going to take too much time if I go over them right now. I would like to do a separate video going over both Black Series figures in the future. There's the bottom of the feet with some peg holes, though, which is weird. Usually they're on the heel. Oh, well. Overall, a little bit of plain in some areas. I forgot to talk about the crotch piece, actually. There is some nice silver on the crotch piece. So, overall, pretty nicely done. I will do a quick 360, though. So, when you look at it further away, this does definitely look, the helmet, you could tell. Some parts of it are a little warped, which is a little unfortunate. Now, one thing I want to mention before we get onto the articulation, I think the helmet looks a little too big. I don't know if it's because it might be too high up, or if the warping makes it look weird in some areas, but I feel like the previous one here looks a little bit more natural with the head compared to the rest of the body. But we do have a little bit better articulation with this new one. It's on this new ball system with the neck as well as the head here. So basically, side to side, the down is actually really good because of the neck joint, and the up is it's serviceable. I wish it was a little bit higher up, but yeah, the swivel right here, nothing bad. We do have the nice viewfinder like I talked about. We do have these soft plastic pieces for the shoulders I forgot to mention. Arms go all the way around right here, and they do go in and out. We do have a bit of a butterfly joint, but it's not super strong, and we do get a bend here as well as a swivel. And it bends just a little over 90, so it's pretty good bend. Swivels here at both gauntlets. This has an in and out hinge as well as a swivel right there at the hand. The other one will also have a swivel, but it's an up and down hinge. Ball joint waist, so it can go all the way around, side to side, forward and back. Legs are a little tight, but they go forward that much, which is pretty good. They don't really want to go back at all. We do get an upper thigh swivel here, and we do get a knee swivel, as well as a bend at the knee, which I think the knee swivel is a little redundant. But the bend is pretty good, but the knee pad there doesn't want to bend. It doesn't look natural to me, especially when you swivel it like that. That just looked weird. I don't know why they do that with some of these figures now that have knee pads. It should be on the actual knee. Bend at the foot, it actually goes down pretty well. Up, pretty good as well. And then we do have an ankle rocker. One thing I did forget to mention when posing this figure around is that these do swivel here. They're on a bit of a ball joint, but they mostly want to go forward and back like so. So for quick size comparisons, on the left we have the SH Figure Arts Boba Fett. On the right we have the old Black Series Boba Fett. I don't have the Mafex one anymore, but that one it was a very, very good Boba Fett figure. And these three here are all pretty solid. The one on the right there is a little taller. I do think we have some better updates with the one in the middle, of course. And the one on the left doesn't have the most accurate colors, but it's still a pretty solid figure. It is a little bit shorter, but not by much. If you have the SH figure, it's one that will still fit well with your Black Series collection if you want to stick with that one. On the far left, that is the Walmart exclusive Jedi Luke from Black Series, which is going to be shorter than this new Boba Fett. On the right, we have a standard size Marvel Legends figure like the Spider-Man from the Retro collection, and it's going to be a little bit taller than Black Series. So overall, I do think it's a pretty solid figure. I just wish it came with maybe a couple more accessories, some alternate hands, or maybe another effects piece, just to sweeten the deal on $30 price point. That's not the biggest complaint, though. I think it comes with pretty much everything you need for this figure. My biggest problem is the head. I do have a bit of a problem with the head sculpt underneath not being painted and glued onto the helmet. This time around, I definitely feel like it gets in the way of making that helmet look natural. Hopefully, all it takes to fix this issue, for me at least, is just to run some hot water or get my hair dryer and put some hot air in there and form it a little bit to make it look more naturally. But I don't know, I've seen a lot of people have different problems that requires more effort than that with this helmet. Overall, though, the rest of the figure is very solid. Pretty much any part that has armor on the figure is really nicely painted, as well as really nicely sculpted. Even the underparts are pretty nicely sculpted, but there's just not much paint there. The accessories are really well done with details, paint, and sculpt, and just the amount. Even though, again, I said we could get maybe a couple more, still pretty good with what we have. And articulation this time, I do think, is a little bit better. I think he poses more naturally than the previous one. This is a $30 figure. I don't think you're going to be kicking yourself too much if you pay the full $30 for this. Maybe wait till it hopefully drops in price. Definitely don't pay more than $30. Don't be paying $40 or $50 for this. I don't think it's worth it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.